Hello from the beanbag, and welcome back to another episode of Daily Encouragements with Naomi. Good to have you. In today's episode, we're going to talk about living a whole life of worship, because worship is more than just singing to God. Worship is a whole lifestyle. Now, for those that have been watching some of my other videos, I remembered to turn my fly killer off today, so we're all good. The only thing I haven't turned off and that I can't turn off is the traffic noise. I live right on the corner of a really busy intersection and there's a train track right there. So I'm sorry for those. I hope nobody has to listen with headphones in, because it's quite like when I edit and I have headphones in. It is. That background noise is quite loud. So hopefully, as I potentially get better gear and stuff like that, we can eliminate that noise. But for now, I'm very sorry. And because it's early, like it's 11 o'clock in the morning, so it's pretty busy out there. But anyway, let's crack on and do this in spite of the traffic noise. Let's go. So, looking at a whole life of worship, you know, we are created to worship. We are created to worship God. But for those that don't worship God, still worship something. You know, we're all worshipping something. Ideally, that something and someone should be God. But we all, you know, even those that worship God, at times worship other things, because we're human and we're not perfect and we get it wrong a lot of the time. I know I do. I know that, you know, there are definitely times in my life where I am not living a life of worship to God. And my attention and my focus is on other things. And so therefore, that's what I'm worshipping. Now, a whole life and living a life of worship looks different for everyone, because we're all different, and our relationships with God look different. So I'm not gonna tell you how to do that, because what it looks like for you and what it looks like for me is very different. How I relate to God and live my life out in worship and honor to Him is very different how any of my friends live their life out and worship to Him, because our relationship looks different. And I think that's actually one thing that I think we need to realize and recognize, is that each of us have different relationships with God, because we're all made different. And, you know, He doesn't need us to worship Him, but He chooses us to be in relationship with Him and to love Him and worship Him. You know, He doesn't need us, because He's God. He doesn't need any of us. He could do all of this by Himself, but He chooses to to invest in our lives and love us, and he created us to worship him. We are called to worship the God who created us. Because when we realize what he has done for us, and that we're never gonna realize the complete picture this side of eternity, but when we get a glimpse of what he's done for us, what else can our reaction be and our response be but worship him and honor him and glorify him and exalt him? Because if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't be here. And even deeper than that, if it wasn't for Jesus going to the cross, we definitely would not be here and living in the freedom that we have in him. So living a worshipful life is a life laid down, as a life surrendered to the King, and a life that is laid down daily, and sometimes more than once a day, but a life laid down daily in response to what God has done for us, and in response to his unconditional love, his grace, his mercy, his kindness, his goodness, his patience, his gentleness. Man, because, you know, none of that is what we deserve, because we are sinners. Yes, those of us in a relationship with Jesus are redeemed sinners, but we are still sinners, and we will always be mere sinners, because we are human. But in our humanness, God partners with us and walks the journey with us and pours out his incredibly amazing, unconditional love upon each of us. And when we grasp the depth and breadth and height of that love, our response can only be a life laid down in worship to the King. It's not easy living a life that is laid down and surrendered and isn't our own. Because we, you know, as humans, I know I do, I'm like, I want to do that myself, or, you know, I want to be in control. I want to know what's going on. I want to be in control. I want to have my rights heard and met, and yeah, I want to have my say on this situation. I want to go in and whatever, you know, stake my claim on anything and everything. But that's not what we're called to do in worship. Worship is surrendering. Worship is a life laid down in complete surrender to the King. And, you know, it is a constant laying down and a constant getting back on the altar. Because I know for me, I get off it all the time. I know I do. I know I do. God must get so frustrated because, you know, I get off that altar. I go off and do things on my own and, you know, control situations and, you know, all that kind of stuff. I know I do. And eventually, I hope that I come back and get back on the altar and, you know, as a life surrendered to God and laid down and offered as worship. I want to encourage you today that as followers and disciples of Jesus and as people that have relationship with Jesus, we are called to live a life of worship to the King. Now, I guess my encouragement is that it's okay to not get it right all the time. Because none of us do. Because we're human. And we're not perfect. And God knows that. Because He created us. And He knows us inside out. He knows us intimately. But what He's wanting is the heart response. Here's my heart, God. Here's my heart. I want and I desire to live for you and to worship you and to honor you. I don't get it right. But God, here's my heart. And I want to partner with you in what you're doing in my life. And I want to go where you're leading, guiding. And today, today I choose you, God. I choose to love you. I choose to serve you. I choose to honor you. I choose to worship you. Because it's a choice. It is absolutely a choice. Because God has given us free will. He can't make us worship Him. It does say in the Word that if we don't worship, the rocks will cry out. So let's not leave it up to the rocks. Let's be a body of Christ, the family of God who worships our King daily in every part of our lives, in every area, in every situation. Let's open every door to our hearts and let Him in to those places that we don't want Him and that we've never let Him in. Let's open the doors. Let's throw open all the doors of our heart and ask Him to come into those places and heal that pain, heal that hurt, so that we can recklessly worship him and be recklessly abandoned to him. And seek him first in all that we do. Let's get on the altar today to honour our King, because he's looking for our heart response. He doesn't ask us and to have it all together. He doesn't call people that have it all together. He calls those that are slightly screwed up, messed up. Some more than slightly. You know, I know that when he called me, I was not qualified for the job in any way. I was pretty messed up. He called me because he chose me and he wanted a relationship with me. And he wants relationship with you. That is his biggest desire, is to have intimate relationship with you and to walk with you daily. So let's start our week on the right foot and live a life of worship. And let's get on the altar and stay there. Have a great Monday. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Love you all. Peace out.